Hi, this is Peter from Posa Labs, and in this video I would like to showcase you the usability of our tool that we've built for the Superfluid Hackathon. We've decided to build a front end for the borrow against salary super example. So in this example, there are three parties. There is an employer that employs an employee who can become a borrower to lend some funds from the lender and redirect his salary stream from his own account, um, or some portion of his salary stream, should I rather say, um, to the lender. So without further ado, let's jump straight into it. So first thing you'd like to do is to connect your wallet. The integration we've got going at the moment is the MetaMask wallet, and we've implemented this on Girly so far. Right, so I will be switching throughout this demonstration between different accounts, one for employee, one for the employer, and one for the lender. And please note that the employee is the same as the borrower because he works for the employer and he would like to borrow some funds against his salary. Right. So first of all, um, we'd like to create some borrow requests. In order to do that, we need to take the address of our employer in order to whitelist him as the person that is allowed to um, create a flow of funds to our smart contract. Right. Um, so let me just paste that in here. Then we decide on the borrow amount. Let's say he only needs for the moment like 150 tokens of the super token DAI. And let's say he's gonna pay them in 2 months. The interest rate, let's put it to 10% for now. And what we have calculated is the total cost, which is the borrow amount plus the incurred fee or the interest rate, which is 10%. 10% of 150 is 15. So that's the total cost that would be redirected from the salary stream from the borrower to the lender, right? So let's send that. And for demonstration purposes, I will create another borrow offer just so that I can showcase you different functionalities. Right, and let's say we've also got another borrow request for this time 200 DAI that we'd pay back in 12 months, and let's say it's 5% on that. So once this goes through, I can show you how it looks on the view of the lender. So if I am a lender, this is the view that I'm presented with. This is another offer that I've already created in the past, and this is what we've created just some seconds ago. So you can see that the borrow amount is 150 DAI, and the profit for that is 15 DAI, and the payback period is 2 months. And what this results in is the calculated APR, which is the annualized interest rate. So because the payback period is just 2 months and we make a 10% profit on our initial funds, this means that annualized our profit is 60%. So this is what we calculate, and this is what we believe is of most interest to the user. That other offer went through, so now once I refresh it, we should be seeing one more additional offer. Additionally, we see some other informational stuff like who is the borrower, who is the employer, and because we are the borrower in all of those requests, This is the information that we get here. And in a second, I will show you that there are some different actions that you can take here depending on your role. Um, this inactive label, it tells us that the loan itself is not yet active. It hasn't been activated. It's still up for grabs, so to speak. And this tells us what's the inflow rate of the super token, super DAI tokens into this contract. So now if I change the view to some other account, perhaps the employer or some not yet related account, that view should also change. And I can now do some different things with those accounts. For example, I could give out that loan. Um, but that's only possible if there is some inflow coming into this contract, because if there's nothing coming in, then it doesn't make much sense to give out the loan. Right, and because I'm the employer and I have this employee that created those three borrow offers, I would like to, maybe it was for some features he was working on in my project, I would like to uh, pay him. So let's create some salary streams for him and activate them accordingly. And once you have created a flow, you can also change it. You can increase or decrease it depending on your needs. For example, let's say that employee got a raise, so you would like to change the flow to a bigger one. That's possible with this feature here. Or in fact, let me reject that. Um, yeah, the other creation of flow just went through. Or if the employee is not longer working for you, or for whatever reason you'd like to delete the flow, that's also possible. You can also do that. And let's just create some flow for this other stream. Let's say $1,500 per month. This is the unit that we think is most user friendly, because normally that's what we operate in dollars per month or tokens per month. And we automatically calculate the actual flow rate per second. That is the under the hood value, and might be familiar to some other power users of the Superfluid protocol. So we confirm that, and that should go through. And you see that the values of the flow adjust accordingly. Previously, I had a flow on this contract, which I've deleted. This one was 0 previously, and now it's 1,000, and this one is now 1,500. Right. And the APR is, as I've mentioned, annualized. So in this case, it's the same as the interest rate that we've put in, because the payback period is 1 whole year. Okay, right. So now that we've got our employer, and let's create a flow just so that I can show you what you can do with it. Let's say 900. Right. So the important thing about the delete is that it's possible to delete an existing flow that has already been lent to someone. And it's important that once you recreate it, which I'm going to showcase in a second, that the funds are flowing again in the right proportion to the also to the lender. All right, so now since we have some offers that are receiving some funds. Let me do some loans. For that, I will change to this lender account. And ideally, you would like to have this all in one interaction, but for now, we've implemented it in the most straightforward way, which is to have the approve button at first, which gives the permission to access the tokens, and then to have this lend button. This lend function itself doesn't always work straight ahead. Sometimes, according to this initial funding script, you need to provide some buffer in order for the smart contract in order to give the loan. But as we found out, sometimes you don't really need to do that. Sometimes you can just go straight ahead. So the buffer in the example is 100 DAI, and that's what I'd be using if the lend doesn't go through. It doesn't in this case. Let's see how it looks here. I really feel like this is a 50-50 situation where sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and you cannot really tell which one it's gonna be. Right. So let's just see how it's gonna be for this bottom one. Right, so we're out of luck for the demonstration, of course, as you always are. So what I will do now is I will just send a small buffer of 100 DAI to those 3 accounts. So this, for example, is one area of improvement that could be done. Right, so let's send 100 DAI to this F9A. And also to this guy. And then also to that one. What's interesting is that you don't always need to do that. So some further investigation into why exactly this sometimes works and sometimes doesn't would definitely be interesting. Right, and let's get this one last guy. Yep, that other transaction should complete pretty soon. Okay, here it is. So now, yeah, all we need to do is just to click the lend button, and that now works. It's because the smart contract already has the buffer, or maybe that one didn't have and it's worked because I think this was the last transaction that was still kind of pending. Right, so now I can be the lender and lend out some funds. So that should subtract 350 DAI or super DAI from my account. So I should be just short of 1,000 once this goes through. Right. So now, since I have an active loan, the label changes. I'm the lender here, so I have the possibility to forgive this debt and to close the loan by myself without getting the full interest back, or in fact my initial funding. Um, the borrower can also close the loan, as I can show you in a second. Let's lend this other one as well. You should still have enough funds. Right, so after the loan on this one, it subtracted my yeah. Now this one went through also, so now I should have even less DAI after I open my MetaMask again and it refreshes the balance. Yeah, or it was already refreshed. Right, so let's just do it for this one as well. Giving money out left, right, and center. Okay, so now one last thing before I like to show you the closing of the loans is what the employer can do in case of a still active loan and the possibilities that he has there. Let's just wait a couple of seconds for the transaction to confirm. And that went through as well. So now if I go over to the employer tab and change my account to the actual employer, because I am the originator of those flows, it's always possible for me to just delete them as I wish, due to whatever reasons that I have. I can do that. And once I delete them, I can still recreate them for those particular offers. And the lender and the employee would be still receiving the funds in the appropriate percentages. Right, so now we have an information that the delete flow request has succeeded and that the flow is 0 DAI per month, but we still have the active label, which indicates that this is an active loan and that someone has already paid for that loan with 350 DAI. So we can create it back and let's just do that. And once I do that, the flow is created again and both the lender and borrower are receiving some of it. Right, so now that that's done or almost done, let's switch back to the lender view. Come on now. Great, that's back here again. Let's switch to the lender view and two final functionalities that I would like to show you. Uh, right, this is also some neat feature that I think could be appreciated by the users. You can actually see as the employer which of the loans that have been taken out are yours and which of them you could perhaps be the lender for. Right, so because I am the lender, I can close the loan and forgive the debt to the employee and not get my full interest rate back due to whatever reasons that I might have. Right, so let me just do that. And I could also pay back the lender if I'm the borrower and pay him earlier than, for example, those 5 months or 12 months by also by closing the loan, but of course not by forgiving it, right? So now if I refresh it, this loan offer, because the loan was closed, is not gonna appear anymore. Now if I switch back to the borrower, I can also, as I said, forgive the loan and pay back the full amount and some of the interest. This is the employee. And I can close the loan. And let's just keep track of the DAI that I have on my account. So that's the same story here. First, I need to give the approval. And once I do so, let's wait for it to go through. And once I do so, I can close the loan. And I have a little bit less than 8,900 DAI on my account. So that should be, that went through now. Let's refresh. Oh, that's already implemented. Okay. So now I can close the loan. I actually didn't need to refresh it. So that already happens one after the other. That's very nice, very user-friendly. Right, so if I, oopsie, if I now look at the DAI, that should be less than that 8,900, or a little bit less than that. Let's just wait for the transaction to go through, and that went through. And as you see, my balance of DAI is now 350 less, with some interest of that 24.5 DAI. Right, so those are the core functionalities of our dApp. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm happy to hear your feedback. Thank you.